Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to One Hub Racing Season 24 for the P1 tier, the pinnacle of One Hub Racing. Last week we were at Australia, and what an incredible racing it was. Some fantastic battles all through the field, and we saw Aiden take his first win at One Hub Racing, and he leads the Drivers' Championship. This week, we head to a different part of the world. We head to a track where we haven't been in a long time. It is the Shanghai International Circuit. It is, of course, the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's been a while for quite some time. First, using Formula 1 in 2004, we saw the two Ferraris doing very well as well. Jenson Button almost doing good here as well. So there we go. And we got standings to go quickly for you, but I don't have it on my screen, so I'm sorry. So Aiden, he currently leads the championship by 1 point to Owen Wyatt. And then we've got Ben Mills in third on 13 points. And we've got Casper in fourth on 12. Then we've got Larkin in fifth on 11. Colin in sixth on 9 points. And we've got Bryn Evans in seventh on 7. A few people got some penalties from the stewards. Naughty them. Lynx in ninth on and how many points? We've got Extreme, J. Cole Senna, who scored points. And then everyone else either DNF'd or did not start. So, sprint race is going to be different compared to previous sprint iterations. We are going back to the 50% affair, but we're not doing one-shot qualifying, or we're not doing short qualifying. We are doing reverse championship order. And if you want to know what order that the drivers will be facing, well, I've got it right here. It's kind of like what I prepared earlier. So, we have got Nathan Samba. He had points deduction last week after failure to have Taz correctly. He starts on par with Lakitu, joining him on the front row. Speed Queen will be starting in third. Nick in fourth. George will be starting in fifth. Senna in sixth. J. Cole in seventh. Extreme eighth. Lynx in ninth. And JM69 in 10th. Then we got Bryn in 11th. Colin in 12th. Larkin in 13th. Casper 14th. Ben Mills in 15th. Owen Wyatt 16th. Aiden in 17th. And then we got the three drivers who have not raced. We've got Nathan Clark, Oshin and Mata. Oshin can't make it, unfortunately, today. He is withdrawn once again, but hopefully we can see him in a future stream, which will be amazing. So, a few drivers were asked about the sprint in general in terms of the weather. We will go through that in just a moment as well. I'm going to go through a driver that we haven't spoken to much in the pre-race interviews. We've got J. Cole. He feels like he hasn't shaken off any race rust. He thinks it's one of his worst tracks, and he's hoping that the weather conditions will be wet. Well, for the sprint race, it's a light rain to dry race. And we know it being on approximate, things can change quite a bit. And with the sprint round, have you had some thoughts about how this will affect your strategies? Just go to it as normal. And he's going to attempt to try and help his teammate, but he'll be very far up the road. Then we had some rivalries between Aiden and Bryn. It was a great battle between them in the opening round. And they've been asked in the press, have there been any team orders in place, or are they free to race throughout the season? And Aiden asked, there's never any team orders in place except not binning each other and just being sensible. I think the only time there will be potential team orders if one of us is in a Drivers' Championship fight and the other isn't. I would say good. I think it's too early, personally, to get into a championship fight, this team orders this early on. And by the looks of things, and in the rivalries, they haven't thought about that. And Bryn said, never beaten in any team orders. The only time there will be is later on in the season when fighting for the championship. We were fighting, we were working together to pull away. We even helped each other at the shot the fast lap last round. I did notice that, and it was very good. Hence, they jumped out the way on one of the laps, but we worked well together anyway. So an interesting, it was great to have those two speaking to us earlier on in the week in the media night. Then Aiden joined us in the driver's press conference, and he was asked how many years has he been a fan of Formula 1 and who is his favourite driver and why. He said he's been a fan of Formula 1 since the early 2010s and predominantly a fan of Seb since then. And since his retirement... Oh, we're about to get underway. Apologies, guys. And the 5 red lights coming up on your screen. Lights out and away we go. And Lakita gets a really good start from Samba actually, but Samba comes him off into turn 1. Look at the spray, which is going to struggle all of the drivers. And I think we got Samba that is pulling away from everybody. And George and Speed Queen going side by side in towards turn number 2. And I think we have a pile-up in the background. That is the 2 Hasses that had a bit of an issue, but so far everyone else is A-OK. At the start, we have got Nathan in first, Akiti second, George third, Speed Queen in fourth. We got, I think, one of the McLarens trying to go side by side as well, but that's going to be, I think, very, very tight for the drivers to negotiate at the moment. There's yellow flags on. Mata has had a spin. He unfortunately has gone to the runoff area, sadly. So that unfortunately is going to be his race done. So hopefully he can get back into this ASAP, because otherwise he's going to be in a spotter bodder right now as he heads into it. So Nathan Samber's already pulled away. A 2-second gap. Lynx and Senna going side by side. And my stream is having a bit of issues, by the way. So I do apologise on that front. I've been having to do TAS at exactly the same time, so I'm just trying to get my hand on it, unfortunately, as we got Speed and Lakitu going side by side. Obviously, she's gone into the runoff area, so that's allowing Lakitu to pass with ease currently right now. And yellow flag set to 3. Yep, that is Mata that's having some issues. Fastest lap belonging to Nathan Samba at the moment. He's got a 2.5 second gap right now between himself and George. Lakitu in third, J. Cole fourth, Speed Queen fifth, Bryn at sixth. And then, we got some freeway battles here between the 2 McLarens, and we got the Williams as well fighting for a bit of grip here. Yeah, I'm going to have to stop TAS, unfortunately, because it's absolutely causing my internet to go absolutely crazy. Or what I could do actually is change the thingy to 30 and see if that makes a difference. Hopefully that makes a difference a little bit, because it's just causing a little bit of chaos right now. So apologies about that. But positions gained so far. Let me have a look. Positions gained. There we go. So we've got Aiden up 9, Ben up 6, and Wyatt up 6 as well. So those two against block. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn TAS off, I'm afraid, because, yeah, my internet is going crazy and my CoCom is not here yet. So, yes, I'm going to have to turn it off. So, that's annoying. But it happens sometimes, and hopefully we can get TAS back once we get the other co-commentator in. So I won't be able to see who's on damage and who's not, unfortunately. So look at this back straight. That's going to be, I think, very tight in terms of whether they want a high downforce setup or a low downforce setup. As Aiden going side by side into the hairpin, and he's going to get the switch back. Larkin's going to get the switch back, actually. And he's going to make the move stick. So Larkin up into 7th spot at the moment. But Aiden's going to fight it back into the final corner. Aiden does fight it back, heading in towards the final corner. And he is in at 7th spot. But Larkin's going to get the straight line speed in towards turn number 1. We've got Ben Mills right on the back of this as well. Don't forget, some of these guys started at the back of the grid. So they're going to find it hard to negotiate these corners. Heading towards now turn number 3, and now I need to pass turn number 4 as well. Is a slight right kick coming up through, now in towards to turn number 6, a slight right-hander coming up. Let me get the track map so I can see what's going on. And we got Senna trying to get past Nathan Clark, but couldn't quite do it. Ben trying to go side by side with Larkin, couldn't quite do it as well. We had a few people struggling in the background, actually. Both of the Mercedes having a few issues currently. Which is a bit unfortunate. And good news, we have got someone who's back in the commentary box after going back from work. So please welcome in Max. Max, how you doing?
I'm good. Yeah.
You need an invite, don't you?
Yes, I will. And traffic didn't go my way. That's why I'm a little bit later than usual. But I'm back once again. Hello, Jess. Hello, everybody. And hopefully, I don't know how far into the sprint you are, but hopefully everything's going well so far.
I can't find you on my list at the moment, so just give. That's going to be a bit frustrating. But if you can try and get online, that'll be fantastic. As the two Ferraris still in P1, the K2 in third, Jaco in fourth spot, holding on to the Red Bull Speed Queen quite nicely right up front. And it's not going to be that long before people think about going in to the pit lane for a set of the dry compounded tyres. As we can see Bryn trying to go around the outside of Speed Queen, heading towards turn number 3. And there's not much space given, but he's going to keep the outside line. And Bryn's going to get the job done. Bryn is up into 5th spot already. Bryn, don't forget, started, I think, in the mid-pack. And now he's up into 5th, so he's doing a great job. Speed Queen can try and get him in towards turn number 6. She goes off a little bit, but I think it comes off quite nicely. Both the AlphaTauri's looking very, very good indeed. We've got two of the houses trying to make their way up through the field as well, so good on them. Let me see if I can try and get you back in. Otherwise, I have to share my screen, which is not ideal. Where are you? Why are you not showing up on my screen? It's
Let me quickly restart my game and see if that works.
Yeah, that's probably why, and I'll have to probably send you the port in a minute for Taz, because I tried doing Taz on my own and it just the internet was like, nope, not gonna have it. But let you know when you restarted your game now a bit. As Bryn is looking very feisty on the back of Jaco, heading towards this back straight past turn 13, and now we're gonna be heading on to the second straight and heaviest braking zone soon. As Bryn does get past Jaco. Apologies with the rubbish camera angle right now, but it is not the best camera angle as he goes around the outside. Does Bryn once again. Very tight exit between, I think, all 4 cars caught up in this trend. It's allowing the top 3 to pull away. They are very fast drivers and they DNF'd last week, but I think they're able to take advantage of the squabbles which are happening in the background. A few people running right in the final corner. And we could see Ben trying to go around the outside of Speed Queen, but Speed Queen covers him off nicely in towards turn 3. Now in towards turn 4 once again. I'm just looking at Ben's ERS actually. It's on 51% currently. So I think he has got a lot more in his back pocket compared to Speed Queen right now. He's going to go for a dive up the inside in towards turn number 6. Cuts that apex. Bit of banging wheels between the two of them, but they're having some clean racing right now. Ben using his overtake in towards, I can't remember what corner it is coming up. I think it's towards turn 7 now. You have to go half throttle here, and the Red Bull covers Ben off there. Have you restarted your game?
Yes, I have. I've just restarted it.
Fingers crossed you can get in, hopefully. Let me see. I might be missing a fun battle here. Nope, I can't find you for some weird reason. I've had the same problem with someone on Xbox earlier as well, which was very weird. Hopefully,
I'm on PC at the moment, so that's a bit weird.
Yeah, that is a bit weird at the moment. I will try and get you in, I promise. But it is going to be quite difficult when it's quite changeable conditions currently. As Bryn gets past the K2 up into 3rd spot. With much fresher, well, he's not much fresher, he's just managing his inters a lot better as he heads towards the final corner. And Nikita probably pushing a bit too much to possibly try and stay in front of these guys. So he's now going to be under pressure from Aiden once again. Last week's race winner, and Aiden, when he was asked in the pre-race interviews, he said he wouldn't mind double drive, but he wouldn't mind a drizzled sprint, and he said that the sprint would be a little bit spicy, and it definitely is at the moment. He's already up into 5th, so he's gained up quite a few places. He's going to try and get past Lakito currently with the switchback in and towards turn 6. Oh, the AlphaTauri's trying to go for, I think, a similar line, which he's going to do so. He's going to try and use his overtake. Yes, he does. Up into 4th spot. Right, let me try and get you in again. Hang on a second. Apologies about this, by the way. It's an absolute nightmare, the EA servers today. I can't remember what your...
I think it should be either Max Ring or FG Steve F1. Along those lines.
I can't... You're still not there, which is very weird. Let me just try and do R3 or something, which I can't remember what that button is. What is R3 again?
One of the bumpers.
I am trying to find one of the bumpers. It's quite difficult, but yeah, J. Cole under pressure from both one of the Williams and one of the Red Bulls in towards turn 13 and 14. J. Cole, I'm looking at his ERS at the moment. It's deploying quite rapidly. So I'm a bit worried about that. Speed Queen up to 6, but J. Cole's going to have a cut back in towards turn 15. We got Ben right in the middle of this as well, trying to take advantage of everything that he sees fit. On lap 7, it's still not enough. Oh, as people are coming in. People are coming in. That's a perfect time for people to invite. Nick's on the softs. JM is going to go on the softs as well as Casper. And Ben up the inside of... Oh, well, I thought Ben was going to get up the inside of Speed Queen there, but Ben didn't get the move done, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'm trying to find... Where the hell is R... Oh, no, you can't get R3 on it. So somebody maybe... I don't think there's any PC guys to invite you, unfortunately.
Is Lukey in the lobby?
Lukey's in a different tier.
Oh, he's not in this tier anymore.
Nope.
Oh, crap. I should have really realised that.
Yeah, so we're probably going to have to wait until I think the race start, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna probably have to share my screen. So if you give me a sec, share screen, and I'm gonna put it on 30 so it doesn't use that much bandwidth. Put it on full screen. Hopefully you can see that. I think we're going to have to make do with this, unfortunately. I did try tabs by myself and the internet just went no. Having none of it right now. But Ben, under pressure once again. He's got good straight line speed heading towards turn 14. And Ben's got past. Ben has got past. I don't think the 3 drivers that have come in, it is still quite sprayy heading towards, I think, the final few corners. I don't think it's enough for them to go onto the soft tyres. It might be that it could stay injured for the entire race.
Yeah, it certainly seems so. I can't see the driver names at the moment, but it does look very, very wet. So, yeah, I don't think with how many laps are remaining that it's going to get dry enough for those soft compound tyres to be of any use at all. So,
DRS enabled. We spoke too soon. We spoke too soon.
Oh. Now that changes everything.
Matt's in the pits.
DRS enabled is usually the indicator.
Yeah, Matt is in at the pit lane. So that's going to be, I think, an interesting call as well. But maybe we might see what we saw in P3 where a few people stayed out and that worked in their favour.
Yeah, we could certainly be seeing that. So, I mean, I can't actually see how many laps are left because it's a bit blurry on my screen. Yeah,
I'm so sorry. The internet's quite bad at the moment, so I'm quite be surprised if we're dropping frames a little bit. But we've got the 2 Ferraris still leading, and it's definitely dry now, so they're all going to have to come in. And I think JM's going to be the one that could benefit from this, but I think with a lot of drivers having such a big gap in front of them, I think if they all come in, it will probably be easier. But I think Ben, next driver on the attack, is going to try and get past Nikita, which he does to the right-hand side, or is Nikita going to go for the switchback? Nikita is going to try and go for the switchback. Yes, he is going side by side in towards the final corner. Everyone, I'm sure, will going to have to come in. No, they're staying out. Some people are staying out. They realise that it's a bit late to go onto the soft compound tyres. And I think that's a smart move because the ones who have pitted, they got a big gap. But the question is, will the soft delta come down quick enough for these guys? Owen White side by side with Nate Clark, both ERT drivers. And he's going to go around the right-hand side in towards turn 3 and 4. And Senna goes in to the pit lane. And he's going to come out in a very deep... He's going to probably come out of the points because top 12 in the sprint do score points. Yellow flag. I don't know what that's for, but I think that's for... I think a few drivers at the back that's probably just pitted and trying to find some temp into those intermediate tyres. And the 6-second gap between Nathan and George, that is amazing performance so far from Samba. I think him starting on pole was definitely, I think, a blessing in disguise. But we got the 2 Ferraris on top and to the AlphaTauri in P3 and P4. We've got 1.5 laps to go. It's going to be a bit too late to pit. But if you are right now, and you won't get a point for fastest lap in the sprint. So, yeah, a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I mean, at the moment, it doesn't look like the drivers on the intermediate, on the softs are gaining too much on the intermediates. We have like 2x2 heading into the hairpin between a Red Bull Alpine and an Aston Martin and another Alpine actually there as well. They're all still on the intermediate, so it's going to be a big struggle for them to keep the car somewhat on the road. But as we're heading on to the final lap of the sprint race, I would say here, staying out on those intermediates was certainly the gamble to go for here, Jess.
Yeah, I think that was definitely, the right gamble to be on currently. And I think that's what happened in most of the races where it was like this. It's set to approximate, so it can mean different things for different people. As Samba's got a 7.2 second gap, George in second, Bryn in third, and then we got a big train between Speed Queen, J. Cole, Lakitu, Larkin, and Owen Wyatt. So Speed Queen and J. Cole doing their best to just keep ahead of these Chase Impact, who are doing a lot better on these intermediate tyres. And the gap between the intermediate runners is a little bit of a love tap between Nate Clark and Owen Wyatt going into, I think it was turn 10. Yes, that was there. So they were struggling a little bit. Look at the battery that they're burning currently right now on this back straight. So we are going to watch Samba make his way heading towards turn 13 and 14. Through 15 he goes, and he's going to take his first win of the season, 12 points to his name. I know it may not mean much for some people, but points are points. Brilliant job from him. And it's going to be a Ferrari 1-2. When is the last time we saw that, eh? George in second, Bryn in third, Aiden in fourth, Ben coming across the line in fifth. And then we got J. Cole in sixth, Lakitu seventh. And there's all people crossing the line there. So what a decent race. Sorry that you weren't able to see a lot of it, but that's just the beauty of EA, unfortunately.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, of course, no fault of your own, Jess. I mean, it's just EA being EA in the end. The servers are so poor, but it seemed to be a very good race, which did help slightly when it comes to some drivers benefiting more from that than others. But I mean, it's now really just to see if Samba can hold on to this. The AlphaTauris did well from where they started to climb their way up the grid, so we could be in for something of a very interesting race here, and I'm looking forward to the main Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the main Grand Prix as well, and hopefully you can all stay tuned as we will get your results coming up. Here we go, and go to the sprints. We've got Samba from George, from Bryn, from Aiden, from Ben Mills, from Jaco, from Lakitu, from Speed Queen, from Larkin, from Lynx, from Owen White, from Nate Clark, and JM69. We've got Senna as well, Mata, Casper, Nick, Colin, and Extreme a lap down. Both Mercedes not doing very well here. They got caught up in, I think, a few lap 1 incidents whilst I was trying to sort out Taz, unfortunately. But we're about to get into the main race, and we got a Ferrari 1-2. So it is going to be a dry race as well. And I think most people, it's going to be a mixed bag. No, I don't think anyone's going to start on a set of the hardcore mountain tyres. I don't think it's going to be a viable option. So yeah, I just don't think that's going to work out, unfortunately, for them. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's varying strategies here, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's seeming to be going to be a good race. Of course, a stop is mandatory here in one hub, so everyone will be pushing 100% throughout their stints. And I mean, China is a circuit which does invite overtaking. You've got the likes of the hairpin, turn 1, and I mean, it's going to be so exciting to watch with all the moves that can happen, how close the racing can be, and with that two-stop as well. What strategy these drivers go for? Will they go for a soft medium, a medium soft, or a soft medium soft? It's all going to be down to the driver's choice as well. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I'm trying to see if someone can invite you in, because I can't seem to get you in, unfortunately.
I think I might have Nick actually. Let me have a look.
Yeah, because you're not appearing online on my end, which is very weird. Very, very weird.
Yeah, I don't have Nick. This is the tricky part about it.
Yeah, that is a trick. That unfortunately is the tricky part when we gonna have to find a workaround, unfortunately, which is not ideal. Which means we won't be able to have tabs until I think the end of the race. I'll send you the port number, so you can add that in at least until we try and get into the session. Make sure, by the way, you check out our sponsors: Next Level Racing, Pure Sim Gear, and also Aztec Sim Sports. Oh,
we have a lifeline.
What?
Colin, the goat, has invited me.
Oh, good. And can you check your DMs, please?
Yes, I shall do that now.
Perfect. You just need to add the port. I don't know why you weren't appearing. It's just like it's always race 2, isn't it? It was race 2 last week. Then the last time, remember when we were both trying to get into the lobby, and
Yeah.
well, you were trying to get in, whilst you work and stuff. So that was weird. But yeah, and let me know when you're in, and B, have you put the port in?
I will let you know when I'm in. I'm loading in now, and then once I do that, I will put in the port for Taz.
Okay, perfect. So that'll be a bit of problems whilst we wait. But anyway, 5 red lights coming up your screen right now, and it is lights out, and away we go. Let's see if Nathan Samba gets a good start this time, making his way in towards turn number 1. Bryn's got a gigantic start. He's gonna try and go to the left outside to turn number 1. There's contact in the background. I think we've got one McLaren and Red Bull that has made contact, but so far everyone else has made it through the first couple of corners. A few bits of complex A-OK, and I think we've still got Bryn going to try and go and dive up the inside in towards turn number 6. A bit of a lock up as well, which I think is going to be hard with the tyre smoke with our ABS drivers. But there's Nathan in first, Bryn in second, George third, Aiden in 4th spot, Ben in 5th, J. Cole in 6th, Lakichi 7th, and I think we got some JM's already up into 10th, so he's loving life at the moment. Still got some yellow flags in the background, but Nathan is having a love of his life at the moment, and he's still leading this race. Max, are you in?
Yes, I'm in. I've got the port up, and I think we should all be going well. But yeah, Nathan, I mean, he was on, I think, for, if not a podium last time out in Australia, until that unfortunate incident which brought out the safety car and ended his race. We have a battle here between Senna and Colin Mason going side by side now down the back straight. We also have Colin's teammate Nick against Matter heading down into the hairpin as well. They're going 2 by 2, Noah's Ark-esque. Who's going to come out on top between Senna and Colin? To the inside goes the Mercedes, gets the drive out of the corner. A really nicely worked move there from Colin. Top 4 on softs, and you have Ben Mills on the mediums, J. Cole then on the softs as well. So a lot of diverse strategies. Larkin already into the pit lane. Don't know if that's for any damage or just an early pit stop, but in a 28-lap race, maybe going on to a set of mediums quite early can actually maybe benefit him here.
Yeah, it could. I can't seem to get the dashboard working. Have you got the IP in?
I have got the IP in.
Yeah, that is very weird. I think since we probably didn't catch the start of it on pad, it just didn't seem to have worked.
It's not working on my end either now.
Yeah, that is very strange. Unfortunately, I think we would have had to have started. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So I wonder if it's because I've got mine on.
It could be, but
No.
actually, I do think it is. We've not caught the start of the session. I think that is how TAS works. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, Jess, me and you are used to doing this with no knowledge of what the drivers are on, so...
Yeah, we are.
we should be just as good. JM's able to get past Nathan Clark. That's a move for P9. Softs versus the medium, so nicely done there. Samba is breaking about 7/10 of a second at the moment between him and Bryn. George has dropped out a DRS to Bryn. We're going Ferrari, AlphaTauri, Ferrari, AlphaTauri. And at the moment, it does seem like Nathan Samba might have the upper hand. I say that. And then Bryn just steals the fastest lap away. So I reckon these two could be in for a monumental battle in the next few laps.
Yeah, I think we can. I think we can. DRS will be activated in the next few laps or so. And we do remember that we've seen a Ferrari one here before. Michael Schumacher taking his final victory back in 2006. And we have seen many Ferrari drivers becoming so close to getting victories here, but unfortunately couldn't quite do it, of course. We've seen Red Bull take their first win there as well. Unfortunately, the Red Bulls here not doing it particularly well. So Nathan Samba looking to replicate maybe Michael Schumacher days at the moment. So yeah, we are starting to see, I think, potential battles happening right now. I'm gonna get tyres up because I'm an idiot and forgot to get tyres up. Interestingly, Senna has gone for the hards actually, and he's still managing to keep up with a lot of drivers. So that could be quite interesting later on in the race. I'm not surprised to see Larkin come in. Because he did that in the race in Australia, and that worked quite well. As Aiden gets past George up into third place, so the AlphaTauris continuing their form like we saw last week, as there was a bit of tyre smoke on the back in towards turn 14 there.
Yeah, nicely done from Aiden and George. And I mean, this is going to be now, I would say, within the next 2 or 3 laps or so, where we will see maybe that tyre change between the softs and the mediums. China is a high tyre wear circuit because you have so many long corners where the tyre just screams at you. J. Cole going to the inside of ERT Links there. The Alpine looking to the inside. Will be on the outside, though, for turn number 3. Is he going to be able to get the move done? A little bit of contact made. J. Cole forced wide. Links with the better run out the corner, and he gets keeps the position there. Does the Alfa Romeo, but the Alpine still over the back of him and actually sitting behind. Probably going to be thinking about that DRS game later on in that lap. But yeah, I would say give it maybe to about lap 6. Then we might see the likes of Ben Mills, the K2, and Nath on those medium compounder tyres start to maybe claw that gap back down slightly due to the fact this track very high tyre wear. And it's going to be just something interesting to watch how those tyres fall off and when those soft drivers do go for their pit stops.
Yeah, I think I was watching the P2 race, a little bit of it as they were starting, because as soon as their sprint was over, our main race was over. And it was around about, I think, lap 8 where we saw those drivers come in. That's what I was going to do in P3 before a safety car ruined everything. As Ben on the medium compounded tyres, he's going to go down the inside in towards turn 14. And banging wheels once again between ERT George and Ben Mills as they exit into the final corner. George comes off with a switchback, and he's doing brilliantly into P4 right now. And I think George could fight back here with the ERS. He's hardly got any ERS to play with currently, so that's going to hinder him later on in this race. As we can see, Lynx trying to go around the outside and has a cut back maybe Jacob once again. They're still fighting for quite some time, so this is going to go on and on and on. There's the top 3 on the softs. Ben doing, I think, the outlier on the mediums, and he's catching up to the top 3. So I wonder if those softs are starting to deteriorate with the top 3, and Ben could see a chance. He could see a moment.
Yeah, maybe. As I did say, I did give it 2 or 3 laps, and it's been about 1 actually since I said that. But those medium tyres are now starting to really come into the favour of Ben Mills. Nath gets past the K2. Actually, no, they're going side by side through the double left-hander. Nath is forced wide, but he's still there with the Aston Martin. Will be the outside for the next corner, then the inside, but the K2 very late on the brakes. Nicely defended there from the Aston Martin, but it might hinder his run out of the corner. No DRS either for the Aston ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Who's going to come out on top here? You would think Nath but you can't be too sure when it comes to China, because of course that rundown into turn 1 as well. But Nave gets the move done into the hairpin. Will Colin try follow him through? It's not looking likely. Lakitu managing to sit in 10th place behind the Alfa Romeo in front, but Ben Mills really is starting to put those medium tyres to use. He's now half a second behind Aiden.
Yes, I think with all that squabbling, that could have costed quite a bit of drivers. As some drivers have come into the pit, I did see, in the background. But yeah, only 3 tenths behind Aiden. And yeah, I wish we could see Taz to see how much the tyres are degrading. But unfortunately, we can't do that. Luckily, it's not a sprint next week, so we should have more time for yourself, Matt, to get into the lobby as Casper dives it into the pit lane onto a set of softs. Don't forget, a mandatory pit stop is 2-stop is required from these drivers, and it is P1 gets 20 points, and then it's 17 and so on, all the way down to 12th place getting 1 point, and fastest lap gets 2 points inside and outside the top 10. So still something to fight for, even if you can't get points inside, and as long as you finish, you will get at least 1 point. And oh, the yellow flag has oh no, George has had a moment. George has had a moment, and unfortunately, he's lost it.
Yeah, that is very disappointing for George. Was in P5, was going for somewhat of a decent race at the moment, and it's just unravelled for him there. Senna has been overtaken by Mata. There is actually Ben Mills making the move. He's pounced on the opportunity he's been given, getting ahead of Aiden. He's now into the top 3, having the best pace, I think, out of anybody in the field so far. And for Bryn and Nathan, they now need to check their mirrors and pretty much be driving on their mirrors once Ben Mills catches up to the back of them, because this could be something very, very interesting to see. The train behind Lynx is actually very long as Colin now into the pit lane to come off those soft compounder tyres. As I say, those tyres are so easy to wear out, and it seems like it's happened so far. I mean, George might have spun there due to there being low grip, and he's actually retired from the Grand Prix as well, unfortunately, has George. But still, a long way in this race to go. We're on only on lap 7 of 28, and these strategies still have to somewhat come together.
Yeah, by the way, on the port, try a 9 instead of a 0. I think that was probably my fault there. That was probably my fault. That's probably my fault that the port's not working. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not the end of the world. But I think Ben's dropped a little bit back to Bryn. So I think the top 2 are pulling away a little bit. So yeah, we are trying to sort things behind the scenes. As yeah, I think George's AI is just gone crazy. I'm surprised that hasn't been a safety car. So yeah, I think he just retired in the pits and he's just had enough, and he's not going to score any points because of that. He's not going to be scoring any points, which is a bit of a shame.
It is a big shame there for George, and
it works.
I mean, it does work.
Yes, it was
Hallelujah.
my fault. I forgot to put the different number in. It was my fault.
Hallelujah. So we have TAS working. Aiden has now elected to come into the pit lane after being overtaken by Ben Mills. We've got Bryn and Samba squabbling up in front. But now, yeah, this is really the changing point in this Grand Prix. So it's now really just going to be about, can these soft tyres of Bryn and Nathan manage to get out ahead of Aiden? And then what will happen from there? Ben Mills still has to use that soft compounder tyres, so he could be in a spot of bother at either the middle part or end of this Grand Prix.
Yep, he definitely could be in a spot of bother as Lynx and JM has gone into the pit lane. And who knows, there could be a first safety car. We didn't get one in the first race, and they're all driving it very, very clean. As Lynx, by the way, has just been passed by JM in the background. I'm looking at Senna's right wing. He is struggling. I think it's 21% damage. So he's still hanging in there, and he thinks that he should probably stay out. And that is probably why Aiden could be catching in a rated knots. But again, he's on fresher tyres, not gonna lie. So it is to be expected that they are struggling a little bit. Here comes Bryn on the back of Samba as he heads towards turn 13 and turn number 14. Late on the brakes, and they stay behind. Ben is now 2 seconds behind. If I was Nathan and Bryn, I would come into the pits right now. And they both do go in.
Yeah, really wide line there, actually, from Nathan. That might have cost him a little bit of time there for the Ferrari. Ben's actually coming to the pit lane as well. He's not going for the overcut. He's following the top 3 in. Nathan's going to stay out. The key 2 staying out as well. Bryn, what is he going to go on to? Nathan on to fresh mediums. Ben Mills, what's he going to go on to? He's gone on to the hards. He don't want to use the softs just yet. And for Ben Mills, this can be risky. Where's Aiden coming out? He's ahead of Ben, and he's all over the back of his teammate. Of course, could be on those warmer tyres. And we'll have to wait and see if he'll be able to get past his teammate there. But it's going to be now interesting to see if Aiden can use those warmer tyres to use. But it doesn't seem so. Bryn's got a brilliant drive out of the corner. And, yeah, Aiden is now just going to have to sit behind his teammate. But luckily for him, he's jumped Ben Mills.
Yep, he has jumped Ben Mills in the pit lane, and that's what the undercut does you. The undercut gains, I think, about a few seconds per lap, and you with you just staying out a little bit longer, that is costing that Williams a little bit on those hards. But maybe for Ben, he probably thinks that the hard compounded tyres is a lot better, so he's just going to find a bit more grip later on. And maybe he's going to try and stretch for the soft compounded tyres. As Colin gets past JM up into 9th, Owen is fighting his way back up into 12th spot. But bearing in mind, he's still yet to make his first stop. Maybe he'll be praying for a safety car to make an appearance, which hasn't done so yet. Let's jump onto Nate Clark and Lakitu as they go side by side in towards final corner. Couldn't quite do it, but let's watch the 2 AlphaTauris. Aiden switches past Bryn. Nicely done, up into 5th. And all this is doing is trying to keep Ben under wraps. But Ben's tyres, I'm starting to see him finding it difficult to, I think, warm up. And that's what I found on the hard compounded tyres today. So I think that's what Ben is experiencing. So I think in a few laps, he should be fine. But for now, he's just got to stay within reach of these 2.
Yeah, he certainly does. I mean, he'll probably go on the softs later on in this Grand Prix, or maybe even back onto the mediums for the final stint. Yeah, as I say, maybe just not even wanting to use those soft compounded tyres because of how quickly they hit the cliff. It only took them about 5 laps to hit the cliff and just have no pace at all. So we're going to have to see how Ben Mills plays out this strategy. He's now out of a second, which will affect his pace down that back straight, and it's now really just going to cost him more and more time. Aiden's just in between a second and under a second between him and Nathan. But overall, it seems that I would say Aiden's got some good pace on these mediums. He can try keep with Nathan. But Nathan's just been in a world of his own, I would say, in this Grand Prix. Yes, he's had Bryn behind him at the start of this Grand Prix, but he's managed to manage this Grand Prix perfectly. But he has a little bit of traffic in front of him of Mata, who's all over the circuit in front of him. That's going to really hurt his time compared to Aiden. He's still somehow pulling away. He'll have the DRS as well to negate some of that time lost. But Nathan there, that could have been some crucial time he just lost there in his battle with Aiden within the next few laps.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting indeed, as Nate Clark, he's been passed by Lakitu into the race leads. And we've got a battle in the midfield as well between the Haas, 2 former legends, well, they are still legends, JM and Colin Mason. And we got Mata still trying to be the defensive man. In his first way back, he was unfortunately feeling a bit unwell last week. That's why he couldn't make it, but glad he's here this week. Still not feeling the best, but he's still going to give his all. And, well, he's going to try and race with all his might currently as they all make their way towards this lovely piece of track in towards turn number 7. It's hard to find out corners around this track as Larkin gets past Extremes A. Unfortunately, we couldn't get back in, unfortunately. But yeah, Larkin has got past him up into P15. Still early days yet, but it's hard to tell who's going to win this one. We've got people that have stayed out on 10-lap-old hards or mediums. They're going to try and stretch it out. We've got some people that are just pitted and climbing their way through as Mata has been passed by his teammate Ben. And Ben goes up into 6th, and Nate Clark gets past the key 2 once more up into the lead.
Yeah, nicely done from Nave Clark, and actually Bryn and Aiden swapping places once more. The DRS is really helping them, but Bryn's gone deep. This could really affect their time to Nathan in front. It's now 1.7 because of that. It was 1.1, and they've lost an abundance of time. Nathan's come into the pit lane, and that has really cost the two AlphaTauris here. That might have just given Nathan a really healthy gap heading in to the next pit stop phase. And I mean, yes, we're only on lap 12 of 28, but still, those few temps lost could easily be the difference at the end of the Grand Prix between winning and losing the race. And that's going to be crucial for these AlphaTauris to negate, try find that gap back. I think they were trying to work together there, but Bryn just overshooting the hairpin there on the brakes, and unfortunately just nearly went straight on there. So it's now 1.7 between the pair. Nathan will get held up slightly by Lakitu in front through this middle part of the lap, but I don't think it'll be enough, because then Nathan will get the DRS on the Aston Martin where Bryn won't. So I feel like Nathan is going to be in one of the best places to be heading on to the next pit stop phase.
I think he's going to be very brave to try and go for the move there, which he does go for the move there, which is very nicely done. And it was a bit of a shame, by the way, that those AlphaTauris were caught napping a little bit there. But that is allowing a few people to close up a bit more. Lynx has had a great race so far as well. He's in a net 1, 2, 3, 4, net P5, Colin a net P6. So Colin did say to me that he was potentially struggling going into this weekend, but he's doing a great job as JM almost trying to go for the dive bomb into turn 14 as Lakitu serving his first pit stop, and he stops quite nicely in the box, and he's going to go on to a set of probably the hard compounded tyres. Or is he going to do two softies? If I was him, I would do two softies, and that is exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, that's going to be smart there maybe from Lakitu, but I mean, he's going to have to take those first set of softs, or maybe that last set of softs, quite a way. Speed Queen has retired from the Grand Prix. And, I mean, this now for Lakitu, it's just going to be a matter of how many points he can score. I mean, he's now dropped quite a way behind Nathan front. It's about 3.7, 3.8. So, again, it's just now for the same with Nath as well, just how many points they can score. They've gone long, they've gone onto these softs, and we're just going to have to wait and see what they can do on these double soft stints. And
maybe
I mean, look at the gap up the front now. Yeah, maybe pray for a safety car as well, but look at the gap up the top now. 2.2 seconds is the gap. I feel like Nathan, I know it's quite early in this Grand Prix, we've got another stop. I feel like Nathan, though, does have this one in the bag.
Nathan Samba, yeah, he's controlling that gap right now, and the difference between the softs and the mediums, quite minuscule in some tracks, but this track it's about 0.5 of a second, and between the softs and the hards it's about 1 second. So Ben in fourth place is losing so much time, but he's going for that consistency, which is going to help him solidify his third place in the championship. JM gets past Colin once again, so they're switching up places once more, and I'm seeing JM has got less battery than some people currently at the moment. I'm just looking at tyre wear right now as Colin has got using quite a lot of his tyres. JM and Lynx managing it quite well. Ben's tyres are all right, of course, he's on the hards. Casper on the soft, 45%. And he's been on those tyres for 8 laps right now, so potentially, I think it is going to be hard to check some of the tyres, because some people made their stops before we enabled tyres, but I believe he's already done one stop, and he's got one more stop to make. So I think, is he going to potentially go on to those mediums? Because I don't think he wants to go on another set of softs, because otherwise he's going to have to make it last 3 or 4 extra laps.
Yeah, 100%. So that's going to be a big dilemma. And yeah, this is what we've been saying. Well, I've been saying the whole race is that strategy is going to be the biggest part of this one, because they all will come together at one point, where depending on what these drivers do. But I feel like it's just going to be so tricky for some of these, and it's going to be tricky for Ben Mills as well, because of course on that hard compounded tyre he's losing more and more time as each lap goes by, making it harder for him to even get a top 3 finish here. But he has been oh so good in these past 2 races, I would say, Ben Mills. He's really come into this one. I mean, he was
Yes.
looking for a few podiums and maybe a race win, but he has been really consistent with his driving, so he can be really happy with how these first 2 races so far have planned out, sorry. And we have Mata getting past Casper. Nice move there from the Williams with some DRS over the final points paying position. But it's mainly now just going to be the top 4 by themselves unless there's a safety car, because Lynx is 8.1 seconds behind Ben Mills. They're all out of DRS in the top 4 as well, so they're sort of all just driving in a world of their own until that pit window.
Yep, they are. And if it was like what happened in the P3 tier, we could get a late safety car, which could hinder some drivers who have already pitted for their second stops, or it could help them a little bit as well. So let's have a quick rundown of your stop for everyone that is in this race, apart from Extreme. They have already done 1 stop right now. I would try and invite Extreme, but I can't. And I think we're going to make a rule that the PC drivers have got to add both commentators, because otherwise that's not going to work, unfortunately. But I think now some of the medium runners are starting to struggle a little bit in the background, but for people like Samba, he's on the fresher rubber and he can just pull away a little bit from the AlphaTauris. And I think Ben's just going to be patient at this point, wait until the mediums start to die, and then maybe stretch it out for a set of the softs. And I'm just watching Nate Clark right now as he's on the back of Jaco. I think him being on the softs is good for now. But if I'm looking at what we're seeing on Taz at the moment, he's got the same amount of wear as Jaco. It's just the delta is different. So I think his tyres are going to die very quick later on. And Aiden, by the way, Max, has come in to the pit lane really early.
Yeah, it's another undercut here. Maybe on to another set of the soft compound, medium compounder tyres. No, he's got him the hards.
He can't go on to set mediums. He only gets 1 set of mediums for the sprint.
Oh yeah, I forgot it was a sprint race, to be honest. That's my bad. But that's an odd strategy choice, I feel, here from Aiden. Because I feel like Bryn and Samba will try to extend their tyres to the softs. Maybe, I would say, around about lap 20. Because they did about 8 laps last time around on their softs. So Aiden going for a risky one here. He will get the undercut on the drivers in front. So we're just going to have to wait and see what he can do with those tyres. But for the hards, I mean, we saw how Ben Mills was dropping off the back of him on the mediums, and he still is dropping off the back of Bryn in front of him. That I think this end to the Grand Prix is going to be very, very difficult here for Aiden. And this could maybe have cost himself a podium.
Yeah, I think that could have cost him a little bit, because for the ones who are stretching a little bit, they're doing well, but we know that their tyre wear is falling off the edge of the cliff currently. I think the Lynx has got less tyre wear than Ben's. I think Ben's saving grace is the tyres dropping off on the set of the medium tyres. With Nate Clark, I think his tyres are dropping off quickly than we would have thought as well. I think once it's past 30%, then they're going to struggle. But look at that DRS train that's definitely emerging between themselves, Colin and JM right now. Jaco is right behind them as well, potentially, once he closes in, once those softs start to die as well. I'm liking this mixture of strategies as we have got, I believe, the pit stops there. Senna is the only one who's done 2 stops, as well as Larkin, so they both came in at the same time as Nate Clark trying to get past Colin. Oh, we had a bit of tank of oversteer heading towards turn 4.
Yeah, Nath, he needs to get a good drive now out into the next hairpin. Send it late on the brakes. Would he be able to do so? He's going late, but so is Colin, who's gone very deep into the corner. Nath could get a really good drive out of here. Then into the S section. He's going to be outside for the first one, which is really difficult to do, to hold it around there. He cannot do so. He's going to have to try slot in back behind the Mercedes, who gets a poor run. And look at this by Nath. What a move to capitalise on Colin making a mistake mid-corner. Held it round the outside, went to the inside for the double left-hander, and was able to sliver his way down the inside and up into 6th place. Nath, this has been a very, very good inspired drive from the Alfa Romeo driver, and maybe could be on for a top 5, maybe even top 4 finish at this rate.
Yeah, I think top 4 could work out there. We thought he was going to struggle a little bit on those tyres, but it's like that his tyres are definitely having a second wave of life for him right now as he goes to the right-hand side. In cutting into the right-hand apex, and he's doing a very good job. Oh, a bit of a squirm for Nate Clark through the exit 15, and I think he's just about to hold that one as he tries and close in onto Lynx currently as well. No penalties for the drivers so far, which makes things a lot easier for us to keep track of, as Colin and Jay having a battle once again through turn number 1 and 2, as I think JM's going to keep to the left-hand side line. Colin to the left, and Colin is doing a great job on Warner tyres, and he's going to stretch out maybe to set up the soft compounded tyres as they head towards turn number 6. JM could try and go for a dive bomb maybe, but he's going to be a bit patient than that.
Yeah, he's on the older tyres, so he hasn't got the better grip compared to Colin, and he's just now really just going to have to sit behind, extend those tyres out. Actually, sorry, he does have younger tyres than Colin. That's what I should have said there. It's the other way around. But for JM here, he just needs to bide his time. I feel like Colin will drop out a DRS out of this corner to Nath, which he has. And for JM, he just needs to get the DRS move. If he goes now, it will be too early, and Colin can just slide straight back down the inside into the hairpin. So he has timed it very well, has JM. He'll now get the DRS down that back straight, maybe use a bit of battery as well to catch up to the Mercedes. But this is really where he needs to use that one lap of younger tyres to just somewhat get a good run out of the hairpin. He gets the move done on the Mercedes. Very nicely done there for him. As actually, I thought Nath was actually going into a spin there into the hairpin, but no, just locked the rear slightly. But for JM, he needs a good run out of the final corner. And if he does that, he actually goes into the pit lane, sorry. And we now see what JM does, and also Colin into the pit lane. This could probably be for a set of the soft compound tyres, because they might have seen how Nath's tyres are working on younger soft, on low fuel on those softs.
Yeah, potentially, as Colin comes into the pit lane on the softs. It can do it, but it will be a bit of a push. We did see some people do 9 laps on them and then they start to struggle, but anything can happen in Formula 1. It does depend on whether they can manage their tyres effectively as well. Of course, we can keep you updated on Taz as well, and just to see how far everyone is on their tyres. The top 6 probably are going to think about pitting soon, because everyone else behind is going to be on the fresher, as I say, fresher rubber. And I think this is going to be very, very interesting strategy call to this race. Some people want to go on the softs early, some people want to go on the softs late. The undercut, though, will be powerful, so we'll keep an eye on JM. We'll keep an eye on Colin. They don't want to fight too much, but JM gets past his teammate Casper and up into P11.
Yeah, Casper's done really well here to keep those soft tyres in somewhat decent condition for this long into the Grand Prix. 13 laps, and here comes Colin to the inside. Is he going to get able to get the move done? A little bit of contact there between the pair, a little bit of rubbing between side pod and front left tyre, but Colin's through. And look at the purchase difference. Just look at the difference in tyre performance between Colin and Casper. Nath has got past his teammate Lynx, who has now gone into the pit lane. Nath has really done well on these soft tyres, and now 8 laps old, and they've seemed like they're good as new. They don't really have any signs that they're going to be slowing down in the next few laps. He's been really, really good at pushing these tyres. As Aiden is up into 5th place. Going to quickly check his gap to the leader. It's 23.0. He's not really gained too much, so yeah, I feel like Aiden really is going to be struggling against the top 3 at the end of this Grand Prix.
Yes, we could see a different race winner so far in this one. Of course, Nathan Samba has won the sprint, but he could win the feature as well. And we will see a lot of soft runners come in. So we've got JM still on that race leader currently, and we've got Lynx catching up in 2nd. Lynx doing a very good job with their pit stop as well. So I think it's going to be, well, a bit of a Ferrari car sandwich for the likes of Colin right now. Everyone else from 10th below isn't able to catch that right now too. So they're probably struggling in just a little bit more detail. So, yeah, I think from this point on, if you go into the pits for safe softs, it will make it. But they will probably pray for a safety car, probably try and stretch those tyres a bit more. As Samba comes in, Bryn comes in, so they both come into the pit lane, and probably they will go on a set of soft tyres. Ben is gambling for a safety car, and he's staying in on the hard tyres.
Yeah, I mean, for Ben, it'd be worth him staying out slightly longer. So I don't know. It's just gonna see how that one plays out. Aiden just does jump Bryn. He doesn't jump Nathan though, and that's gonna be crucial.
Too many Nathans.
So what did I say?
Yeah, there's too many Nathans in this lobby. It's hard to keep up. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. Aiden hasn't got past Nathan there, so that's really going to affect his race. That's any chance of a win gone. And for Bryn, he will be able to catch up to his teammate at probably a rate of knots, and it really is going to be about if Aiden can hang on to a podium place here. That's all he can hope for is third place. So again, we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. And again, it's all going to be down to how Aiden pushes those hard compound tyres. Of course, he could probably push a little bit more than the other drivers on the softs, but it's still going to be such a tricky task with these drivers with so much more grip than him, chasing up to the back of him and trying to hang on to that with such a long DRS straight as well. If you have none yourself, I thought this could be an impossible task for Aiden to climb here.
Yeah, 2.1 seconds. I don't think he's able to close in, unfortunately. That's going to allow his teammate, and that was what how the teamwork is coming into play. They were asked about the exact same question in the rivalries. I think all A's going to do is let maybe Bryn through, just to give Bryn a chance to potentially maybe even win this race as well. He's about 4.1 seconds back of Aiden, and he can use as a buffer to try and close in a little bit as well. So let's get the pit stops. Once again, so Ben is the last one to come in out of the ones who are still in this lobby, so him banking for a late safety car, unfortunately not working, but he's going to end up, I think, just ahead of JM69. It's going to be close. Yeah, it's just ahead of JM69, so just missed out on the podium, unfortunately, but he's got a few extra laps to try and see if he can close up to Aiden, who is also on the hard compound tyre. So maybe Ben can use a bit of Bryn's DRS potential if he catches up. But the gap is massive, so anything can happen. Unless, obviously, Samba bottles it. We do know that Samba's going to win this one.
Yeah, Samba is just flying out in front. He's now 4 seconds clear of Aiden, 6.7 clear of Bryn. He's got this one in the bag. Unless, again, something drastic happens to him, it's going to just be now about how Nathan attacks this one. He'll probably manage his tyres. He's got that gap, so we're just gonna see utter dominance here. Of course, he was going to be on for a good result out in Australia before that collision. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it works for Nathan. But I reckon by the end of this Grand Prix, he could still be 8, 9, maybe even 10 seconds clear of Bryn come the end. We're just going to have to see how he plays this one out. And for Ben Mills, he's just going to be pushing for the podium as well. Here he's 5.1 behind Bryn. It is doable to catch up to Aiden, but he will need to catch up at a rate of knots.
Now, I think that JM having a bit of a moment in towards the final corner, and Lynx just about holds on to P5 ahead of JM69. That was absolutely crazy right now. If they keep scoring like that, they're definitely going to lose out on the fight to fourth place. So, yeah, this is everyone's tyres to the end now. Senna and Larkin pitted earlier on, and they're going to try and get to the end on these tyres there. But we've got JM trying to chase on Lynx, and Lynx being, I think, like the mastermind out of all of this, trying to defend for his life. He's doing such a great job in doing so, and they do not have long until the end of this race to make amends on this one. So maybe those four can maybe work together to try and close this one. Bryn is on the back of his teammate, by the way. So Bryn is going to try and see if he can get past. I think Aiden going on the hards, unfortunately, not the best decision, as you were saying earlier on in this one. So Bryn is going to try and use a bit of his battery to try and close in. So going in towards this back straight, and I think this is going to work wonders for the AlphaTauri driver. And Bryn has got past his teammate. I think no challenge there. And Bryn is up into second place. I think the gap is a little bit too much to catch up, but I think that has probably helped maybe the AlphaTauri in the way, because they're still going to be leading constructors after this one.
Yeah, they won't really care about this one. Of course, they're still finishing very, very solid. They're still scoring really good points. Aiden probably won't get on the podium because look how much Ben has caught up to them. So, I mean, it's now just going to be about damage limitation here for Aiden and Bryn. Of course, too steep of a hill to climb for Bryn there against Nathan. With 6 laps to go as well, it's pretty much, not 6 laps, sorry, 5 laps to go. It's pretty much impossible as JM gets past Nath there for 7th place. Again, Nath could still be on for a P5 finish, which will be really good for him on the strategy he chose. And he's actually going to look to the outside, very heavily defended by JM, who might actually be switched back here by Nath Clark. Is he going to get the move done on the exit? Power down, overtake button on. He's using his battery wisely. It's the Alfa Romeo, holding it to the outside, to the inside then for Nath Clark. What a move this could be, but JM still there to the inside now for the double left-hander. He still hangs on, but gets switched back once more. Nath Clark to the inside. Opportunistic move. He's going to get it done, I think, into the next braking zone. He does, but JM will still be all over the back of him as they now head down through this long right-hander and down that back straight. But I think JM has slightly gone wide, and that's going to hinder his run down this back straight. Is he going to get close enough for a move on the Alfa Romeo in front? Lap 24 of 28, about to be lap 25 of 28 when these guys cross the line. To the outside, the Haas will go. He's late on the brakes. Will he be able to hold on? The Alfa Romeo shows him the door, and somehow Nath Clark has held on in that one, but we still have that run to turn 1 to go.
Yes, we still got that run in turn 1 to go. That is where I think it counts a little bit for these guys as well. This is insane stuff between the likes of JM and Nathan Clark as well. I think Colin will be sitting pretty right in this fight as well. Wow, look at this. Nathan Clark going for, I think, a late send, really late on the brakes. I think he's one of the late breakers in this tier and in this division. But he's only got 5% battery that he's still got to use up. And that is very, very sad for him because JM has probably got more battery to use up, so he can use that to his advantage. These softs are starting to go now, so they've got to be careful that they do not get into punch territory. I think it's going to be a bit late for a safety car, unfortunately, so it's just time. There's time for them just to bring it home and make sure they can get to the end of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, certainly. And here comes Ben Mills on Aiden. He's got closer as the laps tick by. Aiden's hard tyres are going to be starting to scream at him slightly as here we go. The Williams driver trying to look for a podium. He's moved to that inside line on lap 25 or 28, and he's got the move done. I said Aiden has shot himself in the foot here for a podium, and he has. He's now dropped behind the Williams. And I think that Williams will be gone within a matter of corners as Casper now picks up a 3-second time penalty. JM has got past Nath Clark into the hairpin. And once again, these three of Nath Clark, JM and Colin squabbling with like their life depends on it. At the moment, JM is still somehow staying in front of the Alfa Romeo. They keep swapping places as here comes Nath Clark once more with the DRS to the outside of the Haas driver. Of course, both Ferrari-powered cars, and Nath Clark gets to position once more. And again, into turn 1, Nath Clark is able to hang on.
Yeah, that was a bit of a squiggle from Nath Clark there on the exit of turn 4. I think that could have been him into the wall currently, but I think he's A-okay right now as he's trying to find just a little bit more time. So we got 1.5 laps to go until the end of this race, and as we were saying, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. And with Nathan still leading, I think, as I was saying at the end of it, as long as he doesn't bottle it, he should be fine. But Ben could still haunt and still go for a second position in this race, which will be, I think, really, really incredible for him because quite a lot of people started near the back of the grid. He's on better tyres than Bryn as well, even though he's on fresher rubber, but still, he's got, I think, about the same battery left. I think, yeah, the same DRS to his name as well, and something has happened on my Taz to block it a little bit. There we go. That's pretty much back to normal now. I'm seeing Nathan Samber's fuel. He's on 0.12, so he's managing his fuel effectively. Bryn's on 0.21. Ben is in the danger zone. Ben is hardly got any fuel left, and he's going to be doing a lifting and coasting. That's what's going to lose him, I think, a time to Bryn in the end, which is probably mean I think Bryn is definitely going to be safe in this one to be winning this race potentially. But we can see who's using the overtake and who is not at this point. And it's going to be an interesting 1.5 laps on this one to see who is going to get on the podium, who's going to get the midfield spots. And we also got maybe a fight for the final point. But again, we got penalties.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out for the final point. But I feel like Senna might just be a little bit too far back from Mata there to really challenge for it. So it's mainly going to be about Ben Mills and Bryn. I don't think Ben Mills will be able to gain enough. As you say, he's got that fuel issue. I mean, we had this in Qatar where the two leaders ran out of fuel with 2 laps to go. It was first, it was... Actually, no, it was only one, sorry. It was... if I can remember, wasn't it Presto Evans or something like that last season around Qatar? So, I mean, we've seen drivers run out of fuel before, and we'll just have to wait and see. So, for Ben Mills, I feel like it's just going to be about hanging on to P3 and saving that fuel he needs. He's not going to catch up to Bryn enough. He's not had the pace, I would say, over these past 2 laps to catch enough by at least a second he needed. So for Ben Mills, it's all going to be about saving this fuel, but his fuel light is flashing red, so he's going to be on the verge of running out of fuel here, I would say, just before the line.
Yes. Oh, I think he's trying, Samba was trying to get past, I think, the ghost car of Extreme there into the turn 5 and 6. Let's hope he hasn't lost that much time, but I think the main battle we're going to see is between Nate Clark, JM, and Colin. I think that has been the most... talking point at the moment. Don't forget JM. Oh, what happened?
Big lifting and coasting from Ben, so he's severely under fuel here. So Aiden still has a chance to P3.
He's on minus 0.05. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be close.
It is going to be close. Everyone else is fine. Aiden's on... Oh, no. It's hard to tell what Aiden's on because he's got his telemetry disabled. But... everyone else should be okay. Nathan Clark is severely under fuel, by the way. He's on minus 0.24. So that is dangerous.
I think that might be a glitch because surely he would have run... Oh, no, 0.24, sorry. I thought you said...
minus 0.24. But
that's going to be like out the hairpin.
Yeah, that's going to be out the hairpin. So that's going to allow maybe Jay. We're going to keep an eye on that in just a second. But let's watch Nathan Samba. He won the sprint, dominated, and he's won the feature today. We got someone that's run out of fuel in the background. I think Ben is just about going to cross the line. It is Dave Clark that's run out of fuel there. That is a shame. Ben just about crossed the line to finish 3rd, and not much is being lost from him, so he's very lucky. Lynx, with his best result of the season, comes across the line in 5th. Jay comes across the line in 6th. Colin in 7th. J. Cole slots himself into 8th. And Nathan Clark, it could have been a good result for him, but he underfueled by, I think, a few tenths or something, which is a shame there. Lakitu in 11th and Mata in 12th spot. He's going to get the final points paying position, but if you finish, you get a point, except your extreme, of course, because obviously he is AI. But what a result from Samba here today as well. Brilliant stuff, but great job from JM, the P2 champion from last season, and managing to take it on to the big boys.
Yeah, he certainly did. I feel sorry for Nate Clark as well in that one. All that hard work undone in the final few corners. He'd had such a good race, did Nate, and he just wasn't able to, unfortunately, to back it up with what the result is. But for Nathan Samba, what a drive to be 6.4 seconds ahead on such a tightly contested field. Absolutely amazing job from him. So, I mean, he certainly is going to be one of the title favourites after that race. I mean, he was on for at least a podium around Australia as well, as I said. So, for Nathan, for Bryn and Aiden, we could have a brilliant, even Ben Mills as well, we could have a brilliant title.
Yeah, don't forget Ben. Don't forget Ben. He's got his 3rd podium. Well, he's got his he got a 4th last week and he's got a 3rd this week. So his 1st podium in a row. That is really great to see. And I did see, I think, one of the has to get a driver of the day there, but we will vote for our driver of the day in a minute. I'm gonna go first since you went first last week. I'm gonna go with our questions in a minute. I'm gonna go with JM as one of my drivers of the day. Managed to keep up with the big boys as well because he went from high division. He struggled a bit last week, But he kept his form this week and did very well. So my driver of the day goes to him. And my question for JM is, your second race in P1, you settling in a lot better than last week. Can we see the same form as we've seen this week going into Miami? That is my question for JM. We'll go through quickly your results before we head into Max's pick. So we've got Nathan from Bryn, from Ben, from Aiden, Links, JM, Colin, Jacob, Nate Clark, and Nick, your top 10. And then we've got Lakitu, Mata, your point scorers. And we've got Senna, Casper, Owen, Larkin, your final finishers. Extreme didn't make it to the start. And Speed Queen and George retired. Lakitu also ran out of fuel. So, like I was saying, JM is my driver of the day. And my question was for him. Great race for him in his second race in the P1 tier. Can you keep this form for the rest of the season going into Miami? Max, who's your driver of the day? What would you like to ask him?
I'm going to have to go for Nathan because it was just a really good drive. Sprint win, race win. And my question for him is a bit like your one. Are you going to be able to hold this form up into Miami after what was a good start at Australia and also at China as well?
Well, he didn't have a good start in Australia. He DNF'd.
Well, I meant like the start of that race.
The start of the sprint race, as it were, as well. Yeah, he absolutely dominated that one. So good on him right now, and he's going to get some good points. Pretty much his championship campaign has got on to a start now because there was a few people that were struggling there as well. So thank you for watching today. Next week we're back to normal, no sprint races, but we head to Miami. Last time we were here, season 20, I think it was either 21 or 22. No, it was season 21 we were last here. And we could see a lot of rain maybe, or we could see a bit of a dry race. We haven't had any wet effective races so far apart from the sprint, so it's more than likely we could see rain next week. But what do you think about Miami, Max?
It's a circuit which can produce brilliant racing. I mean, it may be a boring race in real life, but when it comes to league racing, it's a good circuit when it comes to actually overtakes and generating them in general. The middle sector does kind of let it down, but it just sort of brings that pace down and sort of separates the good from the bad drivers. So it's going to be just an amazing race to watch, and hopefully you'll all be here to join us for what should be an overtake fest, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And before we go, let's have a quick reminder of our sponsors. We've got Next Level Racing, who sponsor the league by providing a lot of amazing prizes. Aztec Sim Sports, providing some merch to the winner of, I can't remember, of the rankings. I think it is the rankings. Yes, it is the rankings, I should know. Pure Sim Gear, 10% off many of the Pure Sim Gear products if you go on to their website. And they also get a free merch from their website to the driver with the most combined poles and fastest laps. Vespertine, who are sponsoring our championship apparel, and ERT, who partnered the Going Gets Tough award and sponsor our league trophies. And finally, to our partners at SimGrid, who will provide their communities and platforms. Apologies for the stream today. Not been the best trying to get our technical difficulties sorted out, but it was a great race, and we will be back same time next week, 8 o'clock, for the Miami Grand Prix. Will Samba continue his winning form? We'll have to wait and see. Qualifying will be back as well, so should be interesting. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye-bye.